But Taylor Swift now is apparently not happy with the fact that Blake Lively has referred to her as one of her dragons. Her dragons in messages with again, Justin Baldoni. Apparently saying that she has her back regardless. And then we talked about this before, that whole sit down, and we discussed this about Baldoni put forward about how he got there. He didn't know that Taylor Swift was going to be in that meeting, and Ryan Reynolds, and they were pushing him to change that rooftop scene. I watched the rooftop scene. I had to watch that because I keep hearing about this scene. I mean, this movie is okay, whatever, guys. But I'm like, this is a big story about this, and then I get it. It sets up like their initial meeting, but the fact that Taylor Swift was brought into this conversation like this, Taylor said she didn't really know this was happening. She was a friend asking her to come over. She got over. Apparently, she was mad about it. She was very mad about it. So much so, people are saying online. I think it was TMZ said that they made it up. They cried and they got over it. But where was Blake Lively at the Super Bowl, guys? Where was Blake Lively? Because she was not with Tay-Tay, right? She was not there. And so people are saying that she's still very upset about this. This is just what happens. Like, when something gets, like, fishy, or gets kind of, like, yeah, fishy, but also, like, a bad situation like this, people distance until things work out. This was very friendly. This was a year ago. Very, very friendly for a long time. They have known each other for a long time. She said that she felt insulted, though, because of the situation and the good cry thing. I don't know if that's true. But also now, Blake Lively is being sued by Jed Wallace, a PR firm, for defamation on top of this, too. Because Blake Lively came forward and said that the lawyer and the company actually navigated a whole smear campaign against her. And he was like, I didn't do this. Now, of course, he's been helping Baldoni, but he's like, I didn't do this. There's nothing here. This is artificial content. This never happened. That's what he was saying. And it's all imaginary. And he's going after her, suing her for $7 million on top of the $400 million from Baldoni. This is getting hairier and hairier. I don't know how it's going to end, guys. I feel like I still think this should go to court. If you ask me, this should go to court. Let's actually put him on the stand. Let's make it a big event. Let's have all the facts laid out, because as we see stuff slipped out online, it's like it's hard to decide what's true and what's not. Because Baldoni put out that whole thing where he broke down the whole situation. We talked about that last week. It was a lot, and it makes you wonder how you can counteract that. We got to go to court. But Blake Lively is trying to say that because the PR guy was messing with things, interrupting the how people are actually looking at it and messing with the public perception of her, and so she's mad about that and trying to get him to cease to desist from talking about it. And Taylor's apparently distancing herself. I mean, I think that, if you're Taylor Swift, she got booed at the Super Bowl, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, she got booed. And that was crazy. But I mean, are you getting booed because of this? Are you getting booed because of something else? We can get into that too. But Taylor Swift, I think you have to kind of put some distance here if you were me. Valarie, what do you think? Do you think they're mad at each other still? And do you think that Taylor Swift would put distance because of her career? Because she is like this big pop star everyone's talking about. Gen Z loves her, right?
Yeah, well, okay. I believe that she would want to, definitely put distance between them. I mean, it's people... For as many people there are that love Taylor Swift, there is just as many people that hate her for whatever reason. And I'm not like her number one fan, but I don't hate her. Like, people just hate her for no reason. Like, she gets put on the Jumbotron at the football games, and people are like, I hate her. Oh my God, she takes away from the football. Oh my God. It's like, it's not that big of a deal. It's literally not that big of a deal. It's like getting the NFL ratings, whatever. But, for somebody that's so heavily criticized, I don't blame her for not wanting to be with somebody who's very controversial right now and who seems to have also kind of put her in a really not great situation for being one of her good friends, I don't blame her at all.
Are you shocked that she wasn't there? Because there was that whole thing, like, oh, they made up, and then she's not there at the Super Bowl. And that's a thing they've done the past couple Super Bowls, too. Supporting Travis Kelce, supporting the Kansas City Chiefs. I know they kind of got smoked, by the way. I'll just say that. What do you do? What do you do?
Not kind of, Brian. Totally smoked.
Totally smoked.
Yeah,
smoke
it's hard not to bring it up on the following Monday of the Super Bowl. That was pretty terrible.
Yeah. I just like, what do you do?
I mean, it was, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Valarie, do you think there's any coming back? You think that the friendship maybe could be manipulated just for right now?
Yeah, I mean, if they genuinely are friends, I'm sure that they will, all of this was probably just from a PR standpoint. you know, like, hey, it's kind of kind of best if I don't invite you right now while you're in the middle of like this huge thing, and I just want to, you know, I'll just bring Ice Spice. It's fine, you know. And if they're really friends, then, you know, and they're mature enough to navigate that, yeah, they'll be fine. But, you know, hopefully they'll be fine. Whatever. Then they can be at like the next, whatever, 12 Super Bowls together. Who cares?
Right, and they can just like, you know, there'd be more happy-go-lucky pictures. Like I know I put up earlier. They've been friends for a long time. They really have.
Definitely.
Allie, I saw that whole thing you're like about her being booed. All right, you say you don't think it's related to
Of course
Lively.
she got booed. Of course she got booed. She's, you know, another pop artist who's there. Like, football fans are deeply superstitious. So, like, he's losing, and his girlfriend, his distraction is there. Like, he lost that bad, and his distraction is there. Like, of course she got booed. Also, we're assuming a lot to think that, like, she maybe disinvited Blake Lively. Like, maybe with everything going on, Blake didn't want to go be in front of everybody where she might get booed.
That's a good point.
That's
Mike,
a good point.
Maybe she didn't want to be out there right now because she's tired, because she's, like, heavily more in the spotlight than she usually is. She's being much more speculated than usual. Like, they did some of the things that I heard intimated that, like, it was almost like, well, Taylor Swift was part of the intimidating factor, right? Like, it wasn't just you're dealing with Blake Lively, you're dealing with her and her, basically her mafia behind her, including Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift. So she did get brought into the whole thing, but, like, yeah, if they're really friends, they can squash that on their own. Like, we won't know if they're really have suffered for it, you know, until for a while from now. But yeah, that, like, we're not going to know anything until, yes, a trial. Like, that's what's going to matter on all of that.
Do you want to see that go to court, Allie? Because it's been building up. Everyone, I feel like the news media is just like having like a field day with this too. It keeps popping up every day. Almost there's like a minor, kind of like Diddy's been getting that a lot too. But they've kind of like reverted over here now because Ye's talking about anti-Semitism.
Weird stuff.
What a weird time.
Weird, but, like, we know he's also mentally ill. Like,
yeah.
So
what do you do?
But, like, honestly, I would be much more interested to hear more about the Diddy stuff because that's because of the circumstance. Like, somebody's like, oh, nobody's following this thing. That's not true. A lot of people are following this thing. However, what the consequences of them are will be vastly different. You know, with the Blake Lively thing versus Baldoni, it'll probably impact us as people who are on set a little more often because artists work together and things get weird and people act in a way that's not always professional, even though maybe they should be more professional because they're being artists together and it's weird. Yeah. So better that it goes to trial, that gets dealt with, but, like, it's more their problem than anyone else's. They've just made it really public versus the Diddy thing where there are a lot of victims. There are more and more people that they're like, so it really looks like he had these people... Yeah, and, like, including my understand the news I saw today on that was like, oh, he may get brought up on some charges for Aaron Carter. Oh, you know, those might be added because he kept saying he wasn't gonna off himself if you guys find me and it looks like I offed myself. It was Diddy.
I mean, it makes you wonder because I think Aaron Carter was kind of in that world quite a bit, right?
He was.
Quite a bit.
He was very much so. The problem is he was, like, super drugged up and acting super... so people were just like, so he's being nuts. And also nobody suspected Diddy of this yet unless you're basically 50 Cent.
Yeah, he's screaming to the heavens, right? He's like,
he's been putting these receipts together for a decade. Like, before they even were ready to out him, like, 50 Cent had been making this documentary, was ready to sell. But
jump on it.
But most people, like, more generally, if you hadn't been invited to these parties or whatever, you didn't know. So I'm more interested in that because, like, there's more of a distribution of victims and it's more like lethal circumstances. You know, and life-changing circumstances than this, which is mostly them
trauma.
peeing on each other. I don't know.
Yeah. I
Pepe
mean,
knows.
really, Pepe knows all about that, you know?
Sony and Paramount, make a deal. Sony seems
What? Okay, Pepe. Okay, I got there's Pepe for you. He's fired up about something. I don't know.
complain.
Yeah, there we go. But I agree with you, like, because honestly, they are it is kind of a piss fight. You know what I mean? Back and forth. He says, she says, yada yada yada, and that's all it's gonna be until we actually get to the court and get all the actual evidence. I hope we go to trial. I really hope we go to trial. The Diddy thing is crazy. It's crazy. Like Angela, we know we've been talking about this for a while. The Diddy stuff. It just keeps popping up and popping up and popping up. Baldoni's. Is this a distraction, Angela? The Baldoni thing from the Diddy stuff? Do you think? Is it a warranted and a good distraction?
Well, it sounds like it's beyond a distraction at this point, right? I mean, this is like people's like careers, reputations are on the line. I mean, these are big names. He's not, but he's become a big name now. Everybody knows who he is, right?
Yeah,
So-
he was supposed to do Pac-Man. He's supposed to do all these different movies he was lining up for. He had another book he was supposed to do.
And I mean,
It's a movie.
who's to say? Maybe something, whatever. Maybe bigger and better things are to come, right? Because things always shift. But with the whole thing with her is, I think that these distancing reasons are, for one, I think it's obviously PR damage control for sure. She's Taylor Swift's protecting her image, so her team's gone after that. I mean, she has at this point she's at the peak of her like career. So, and with this whole Eras tour and upcoming album, like I think it's like the Tortured Poets Department.
There's a
She's
lot of
got
music she released.
she has multiple like major business ventures happening, and then the Eras tour film. And a rumored new album coming up. So she's got that going on. And then with her brand being so carefully managed, you know, she doesn't need to be in a messy legal scandal. I mean, that's what her team's doing. So, I mean, I know that. So especially involving with allegations of defamation, anyone, Swift or anyone else, I mean, you want to kind of make sure that you're putting yourself, you know, behind the scenes of those power plays, because that's potentially tainting of your narrative, of her narrative or whoever's narrative. So that's why she's probably not there. And I mean, it matters in the sense of like Swift is,
I agree, Emma.
I mean, she's been burned before by Kanye, by Kim, by Scooter Braun. So she's learned preemptively to distance herself, you know, from controversies that just don't serve her. And you know, Lively is probably, you know, maybe taking a hit because, you know, I mean, she was America's witty sweetheart, right? So if you know, if she's perceived as an aggressor in the lawsuit at this point for damaging if damaging details start emerging, then, you know, the public sentiment can shift on her, and it already, I think, it is shifting with all the, you know, everything that's come out about her and the way she responds and acts to reporters and other people and her former castmate, you know, all that, and the text messages that have come out so far that if people have looked into this case at all. Her friend is distancing herself from that, and you know, I mean, obviously, again, when their reputation takes a turn, like hers, Lively's is, I mean, they're gonna, you know, she's gonna have to just, you know, take a step back. So she probably just wants to cut ties, I think, before it affects her standing. And I mean, it's more or less a business situation because there's so much money on the line, and there's money on the line for a lot of people. It's not just about her. And we talk about this a lot, you guys, right? In the industry, it's not the one, it's the many. So that's what you have to think about. That's what I have to think about when I work with clients or anyone that I work with. It's not about the one, it's about everybody else that's around you. Right? So she doesn't want to have to pick a side because, I mean, especially if Ryan Reynolds isn't involved, I think, like, I mean, he kind of is involved with this, but I think she's so close to both of them that, you know, it's staying neutral is probably where Swift is, you know, feeling it's best to kind of also keep herself out of this in a way, because that could create a divide in her own household, and Lively's lawsuit could create a divide in her household with Ryan.
That's true.
If he doesn't back her publicly, which he has, you know, he has in some ways backed her, but I think his team's also been like trying to get him to sort of,
Well, he's part of the lawsuit now too, which is
Yeah,
a
he's
whole
part of the
thing, you know?
lawsuit,
So-
but they're trying to. I don't know. I think they're trying to
They're bringing
shift
him
some
in.
of this.
And the nice pool thing is crazy too. I still think the nice pool
Well,
thing
yeah,
is
I mean,
definitely
his
a knock on
history.
Baldoni.
But but again, like she's been insanely loyal to both of them. I mean, they've worked together. They share their work together, right? And like Lively's sang songs with them. And there's so much intertwining of them. I mean, I'm certain they're friends. They're keeping this business though, where it's like she's probably like, "Hey, girl, I gotta go over here because I can't get involved with your mess here of whatever is going on. You got to deal with this. Your people got to deal with it. I can't be brought into it. So if you care about me at all, then you'll respect that at the end of the day." But yeah, I mean, I got nothing against Taylor Swift. I got nothing I just don't like. I mean, I do like some of her music. I'm not gonna lie, I do. I think I'm a little swifted out sometimes.
Well, I agree though. She is a brand. She's a brand, and you have to watch your brand image.
She's worth billions of dollars. I mean, she's killing it. I will say that.
Yeah.
I mean, that she knows. I mean, she's an amazing. Like, she can put a song together like no other. I mean, watching
Like
her
GM can.
work. I mean, she's brilliant on that respect. She is. I mean, I don't know her personally, but she does what she does. She does it well. I will say that.
Yep. She keeps going. But I agree with you.
And people love her. I mean, a lot of people really like her, and I know a lot of people don't like her. So it's like it's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
I know people that just can't stand her and think she's
Gen Z.
She's not really.
Gen Z loves her.
What she stands for doesn't work. Gen Z's love her. Yeah.
They love her as much as Limp Bizkit or more than Limp Bizkit. What do you think, Val?
Oh, Gen Z. Listen. Limp Bizkit is niche Gen Z, but Taylor Swift is like all Gen Z.
Does anyone know Limp Bizkit from
Yes.
Gen Z?
They're spiking all the record deals and everything. It's going crazy.
Like the ones we listened to in the 90s?
Yep, they're rolling in the money again. Rolling. Santa Durst is doing great.
That's so crazy. I went to their shows.
No, seriously, like Fred Durst is out here pushing crowds like it's like Woodstock 99. He really is.
That's hilarious. Oh my god.
He's got the hot dog flavored water.
I went to that. That is freaking hilarious.
You went to Woodstock 99?
In Rome, New York. Mm-hmm.
You went to wait.
Yeah, we're not going to. We won't get into too many details
original
here.
Woodstock.
Yeah, I was very young, but yes, and I was. Yeah, I mean, I went like they like at the time. I had Jesse Ventura was the governor here, and my friend was dating. At the time, my best friend was dating his son, and God, we went to like a concert. It was Limp Bizkit's and then we ended up going back. They asked us to come backstage. Some people. I actually went with a different friend, and then my friend was there, Tyrell, and then my friend CJ was there together, and so we all ended up finding each other in the back. And they asked if we wanted to go backstage, and we were hanging with like Fred, and then I met John Otto. Was the I think one of the bass guys and the drum. It was Wes, and then sorry, I'm trying to get this straight. It was a long time ago. John was the drummer, so we ended up hanging out with John and all these guys, and just became friends. This gal from Minnesota, Jenny, ended up having a baby with him. It was like this whole thing. Now she's married to that London guy. She has a kid with Fred Durst, but she's married to Max Beasley. You know Max Beasley, the actor?
I know. Oh yeah, from he was New Girl, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think So Kelly is now married to him, but she has a kid with Fred Durst. Anyways, it's a very long Minnesota story, but that's how it all sort of panned out. We all became friends, and we hung out and went to shows, and it was a blast. So yeah,
but that was the second Woodstock, right?
That was that was 1999 in Rome.
Well, I went to the one in '69.
Yeah, that was definitely not around then. Like, you were the real one. This is not. I mean, this was like the Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit, like
the Kid Rock Woodstock.
It was like the Kid Rock. It's not even like a Woodstock. It was
his name should be Adult Country now. That's what his name should be. Come on, he's got to adapt.
Yeah, it wasn't really a Woodstock. It was like I don't know what they were wanting to make it, but anyway, yeah.
GR, what do you think about this fast? Because we got to move on soon. The Baldoni Taylor Swift thing in the middle of this whole crazy again drama. Is Tay-Tay distancing herself or just a PR move? And they're probably behind the scenes still hugging and being friends.
Poor old Tay-Tay's covering her ass, and I don't blame her one bit. Baldoni's a stupid bitch who is on set, and she is in real life. And her husband just covering for her because he has to.
Are you talking about Lively? Lively.
Well, whatever her bloody name is, you know.
PR doesn't care. He's like, whatever.
I'm sorry. I mean, that family, for the way he acts, she wears the pants in the family. My wife pulled that shit. I'd be saying,
I hear he's the one who's a little controlling with his women. So
Yeah, that's been the story.
yeah. Scarlett Johansson talks about it pretty candidly, actually.
Shut her up.
Allegedly.
If he's so controlling, I'd shut her up.
I think it's too late. I think they're kind of cut of the same cloth, but she's not as good at the
You
manipulation.
could be right. You could well be right.
Yeah. I mean, how else do you work together? They're a power team like that. They kind of, it's like, I remember for years people are always like, I've heard multiple times, how can Ryan Reynolds be with her? You know what I mean? Like, because you hear the stories about Gossip Girl, like we said the other week, where the people are coming forward saying she's farting on set and being like, smell my farts, you should love this. Like that, you know what I mean? Like the kind of stories like that coming out. I don't know. People said that
Birds of a feather flock together, maybe.
Who knows? But I would say this, though. At the end of the day, I think this has gotten way out of control. I think it's crazy, but I wonder if it will, like Allie said, if it will change things on set at all anymore. Because the intimacy coordinator thing was crazy. They were saying that they weren't there when they should have been there. And then his side saying, well, just a kiss scene. We didn't need to have an intimacy coordinator. So that's a whole new area because now they've joined SAG, and now there's a whole idea of how can we make this work with them in our union? Do we have the money for it? There's a lot of problems with them joining SAG. It's a good thing for them, but is it great for the union? I don't know. And we'll have to see where that moves forward on set. And if it becomes like a mandatory staple all the time, it's going to cost a lot more money, and it might affect down the whole line for everybody. It might. We'll have to see. It miscoordinates a lot.
To what they were saying, though, like, we don't, that is why the trial needs to happen, right? To really assess, like, who did what wrong, because, like, it sounds like, again, my perspective is, it seems like neither of them acted appropriately. They were both talking to each other, like, in the middle of the night, talking to each other probably kind of inappropriately. It super sounds like she tried to hostile take over the movie that he made happen. Like, this wasn't just a movie he was acting in. He optioned this book, he got this to happen, and then got her hired. So that's his bad, that part. But it sounds like she hostile took over his set, and now she's trying to make sure it's really her possession.
I think it sounds quite similar to that. It's my sentiments are pretty much there too. I think it was like, oh, well, we're the power couple here. We're going to kind of just, casually like move in for the kill here, and we're going to get the guy in the jugular and go for it.
But there was like inappropriate. Those text messages were like really close, and you read them, and it's like it doesn't seem like. It's like we had a conversation about last week. It's like not to put it out there, but what did something happen behind closed doors maybe, and that caused all this problems?
Like me calling you, Brian, or being like, "Hey, Brian, it's Angela. It's 2 in the morning, and I just wanted to know if you want to."
That was a couple of nights ago, wasn't it?
Oh my god! No, but you know what I'm talking about? Like, if you're married and your husband, you're like, hey.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. You said that.
What do you guys? Blake, Brian, what are you doing right now? Like, it's like whispering. It's just like, come on, dude.
Who are you on the phone with? I can hear Ryan's like, who are you on the phone with? Who are you on the phone with?
It wasn't like, hey, guys. It's like, hey, this is Baldoni. It's 2 in the morning. Blake, I need you to get up. Like, we have a disaster on set. Like, shit's burning. Call me. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, just kind of weird. It was just weird.
It was like,
I like the quiet voice better. It works better.
We'll see where this goes, everybody. We'll see where it goes.
I don't know.
The plot thickens, Angela. The plot thickens, and we'll find out.
It is literally gelatinous at this point. Like,
I hope it goes to court. I hope it goes to court.
It will. Somebody's going to have to get paid for this.
A judge is going to end up being like, you, and you. Get the F out of here.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.
Control show.